I'm thinking of reading Chad Dundas's book.
Champion of the World or whatever it's called.
No,
There's
fuck
another
that.
one, right?
No, he's coming up with a new one that's more of a mystery, and I like those. That's my type of genre. Yeah, then the first book was about some story that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
So fuck that. But this one's like a mystery something, classic noir mystery thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Did you see that movie? What's it called? Knives Out. Have you seen the trailer for that? It's kind of like a murder mystery movie, but that looks like it's kind of trying to like. Did you ever see that Family Guy episode where they have like the murder in the house? It looks like it's where Paul Craig, Chris Evans, and a couple other big names in there too that you would recognize.
Paul Craig, Paul Rudd,
Paul Craig,
the UFC fighter.
No, Craig Paul. What the fuck is what's his name?
Craig
007. 007 guy.
Oh, Daniel Craig.
Daniel.
Paul Craig.
Can you tell that I had fucking Paul Craig on my mind?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Let's just pull up the results here so we have that.
Have you heard of a show called Ghoul?
No.
It's a British writer and director, but it's all Indian actors, so it's in Hindi. It's not really Bollywood though, right?
Okay.
It's wicked though. It's a horror story about like a demon, like a ghoul thing. It's sick though. It's only 3 45-minute episodes, so it's pretty much a movie. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes total runtime.
I started watching that Devil Next Door movie or documentary. It's like 5 episodos, dude. I'm 2 episodes in. I just love that fact that it's like real life type of shit, right? Like that's
I don't know, man. I can't get into documentary.
So my plan was to kind of like marathon it last night, and then I was watching it with my girl, and she goes, it was just too emotional for her. Like we watched the second episode, and they're talking about like they're doing like testimonies of like people that survived the Holocaust, and she like they were just talking about how everything that they went through, like all the things that they've experienced. Am I blind, or where does it say rankings? Up top. Oh, there it is. Okay, but yeah, no. Like they have like all these Holocaust survivors coming out and talking about how their families got like gas chambered and all that shit. And the whole premise of the documentary is that there's a guy from Cleveland who was thought to be like Ivan the Terrible, who was like this guy that would he's like a Nazi executioner almost. He was like leading one of the main gas chamber cities or little spots that they had. And they're like, he would like go above and beyond. And like, instead of just putting people into gas chambers, he would like go and like hack at them with like swords and shit and like just fuck them up, gouge their eyes out. Yeah. But so they thought that this guy, Russia gave the CIA or FBI somebody some intelligence saying these are a list of people that are thought to be Nazi survivors and have fled to the US as like different people or different names. And this is one of the guys. So they like arrest him and then they extradite him to Jerusalem or Israel. And that's where like this whole court case is taking place. But they have it like videotaped the entire case from beginning to end. So which is why they're able to like shove it into 5 episodes. But there's some like the first 2 episodes are like, holy shit. Like I love the way they built it. And when you watch like historical shit, you don't want to Google it because you don't want it to be spoiled. And like it's like clearly already spoiled. It's like 20, 30 years old, right? I think this happened in the 80s.
Yeah, I'll wiki it after.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chernobyl, when I told you to watch Chernobyl.
Yeah, I wikied that after.
Don't fucking like, because that was
a wicked
They
show.
followed that pretty much to a T, right? I was surprised that like all of the things that happened in that show, like the guys going underground to like try to like plug the holes. I think
yeah, that was all based on real shit.
I was like, what the fuck? That's insane. And they do such a good job of making you feel like you're there. Like probably one of the best shows, best miniseries I've ever seen. Like hands down. You finished it though in like a day or something. You told me, right?
2 days or 3 maybe. It was only 5 episodes, not that long.
Was it 5? I thought it was like 8 or something.
No, 5 episodes. That's it. Ran through it.
I'm just wondering at what point it's gonna be hard to come out with more documentaries based on historical things, because
there's always something.
We're catching up. Like,
there's always something.
But I mean like something that you've never heard of before. Like I didn't know about this Ivan the Terrible thing, right? That was maybe 30 years ago.
I think there's tons of stuff.
Yeah, I still need to watch Jinx. That was something that you were telling me to watch.
Jinx was dope.
I know that's like right up my alley in terms of like true crime shit.
It's awesome.
Definitely
Jinx
want to check that out.
I think I watched that in a day.
Yeah.
The whole
Did you
thing.
watch Making a Murderer? I think you started it and then
4
you said
episodes
you
and
like fuck it.
I just couldn't do it. I was forcing myself through
hooked.
it. I just didn't want.
Wow.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
Did you read up on it after?
No,
you
I
did.
just didn't
You don't
even
even know
care.
what happened with Sean Avery or Brendan Dassey.
I couldn't get into it, man. I just couldn't care.
Like your curious side of you didn't even want to go and.
I
Google
might have read
what
up a
happened.
bit, but I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah. I think they're coming out with like season 3 or 4 coming out soon, like because the case is obviously still ongoing, right?
Yeah,
like they almost let that Brandon Dassey kid out one time to let him go to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and then they're like, nope, not happening anymore, and they snatched it away from him again. I'm like, God damn, dumb little kid.
I don't know enough to know even if it's like supposed to be innocent or guilty or what.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one thing about those types of shows. When you feel like there's an injustice and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. Mm-hmm. It just leaves you more angry than it was when you started it. And it was like, yeah, this is a great show, but fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this guy should be out or this guy should be dead. Mm-hmm. I don't know how this Ivan the Terrible thing is going to end. They obviously don't have him as as somebody who seems like they're alive because, like, either he was locked up or he was hung. That's what I'm still trying to figure out. Hanged, hung. Hanged. There we go. But yeah, I as soon as I get through, I'll probably talk about it on the next episode and catch you up on it. Cool. I think this is the quickest we've ever actually recorded after a UFC event.
Yeah,
we literally just got off the couch maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago. Yeah. And set up the fucking camera ready to go. But there were a couple fights that we weren't really able to pay attention to or watch to the best of our ability.
There was a lot of fights where it was kind of like background stuff for me.
Yeah, like even just looking at the results real quick, the first couple fights were, what is that? 3 straight decisions, then 2 straight subs.
There was a lot of decisions.
Decision, KO, decision, KO, decision. Wow, that's how many decisions? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it was 4 finishes out of what, 13 fights?
7, 8, 9.
Yeah, so 4 out of 9.
Yeesh.
Sorry, 9 out of 13 were decisions. Yeah.
Thank God this was an afternoon card, though.
Felt like it. Anytime they go overseas, and I don't know, it's just something about it. I feel like you get more decisions, unless it's just me.
I feel like they did the record this year in terms of how many decisions they had in one fight, and I feel like it was like one of those overseas cards.
Yeah, is there something about maybe like just traveling overseas where guys
you got to think about
lackluster?
Like, wherever they go, they usually have a lot of local talent too, right?
Yeah,
like Grigory Popov and fucking who else? Alexander Yakovlev. These guys are in just the Russia.
It's also the fact that a lot of them might not have even fought on the UFC before, so then they have nerves and then they don't perform up to the standards. And
that could be something.
They're not trying to go for the kill as much. They're just more conservative and worried about getting the win. I don't know what it is.
Just starting off
talking on my ass too. I don't know.
Pretty much feels that way. Starting about some guy that just made his UFC debut. This event was Nurmagomedov's cousin Abu Bakar. what a
I mean, I tuned in with like a minute. When did he get the sub? It was like
2 minutes and 50 seconds into the first round.
I think I tuned in like a minute into the fight and I just saw him on top working from guard, and then it wasn't even like this really quick triangle throw or anything. It looked kind of slow. It just looked like he just left himself in position for way too long and then just got locked up.
It was weird to see that submission come about, and Nurmagomedov's no real like. He's not a rookie or anything. He has a decent record. I think he was only at 3
or something.
Yeah, he only had like 3 losses coming into this fight. Mm-hmm. So to see him get subbed at like that was kind of surprising. Zawada is like a vet too. He's not like a scrub. So, but
not
he is still like
either.
plus 250, plus 260 coming into this fight.
He was supposed to be, an easy fight for Nurmagomedov to get his debut feet wet in the UFC. Yeah,
and to come out there and get an L like that, you could see he took it like pretty bad too. He didn't want to talk to anybody, even when fucking Zawada was coming over there trying to get under him.
He looked like he was so embarrassed. Like
he had his hands on the cage like this, and then Zawada tried coming under one of his arms and like laying there with him. He's like, "Nah, bro, let me sulk right now. Let me get over this L."
Ended, he's just like covering his face.
Yeah,
he's probably so like just so embarrassed in front of his uncle too, because his dad.
It felt so like. The cringe almost in terms of when he tapped and how silent the crowd was. Like it just felt so awkward, and I felt it in my heart too. I was like, that crowd is just
so
dead.
Easily. Like it wasn't like this amazing triangle throw up. It was good. It was well done, but it just felt like man, if you're going to be that high level in terms of grappling, that was more than enough time to not get locked up like that.
Yeah, that
a
was
little strange.
I was kind of surprised. You think somebody who's been wrestling that long and probably has been or actually has been getting most of his victories from on top.
Has anybody even come close to locking up a triangle on Khabib?
Let me actually see what the other losses on Nurmagomedov's record.
I was just checking his record up the other day. He actually lost by submission like 2 or 3 fights ago.
I think he has a draw to Boyan Velichkovic, right?
And he has a win before that, but then the fight before that he got subbed. That's why I'm surprised he's in the UFC. Because he's coming off of only 1 win and a draw.
Yeah, he's 1-1-1 his last 3.
So I was like, why did he even get in?
So what were his other
And
losses?
on top of that, here's the funny thing. You're in PFL already, right?
Yeah.
Why jump to the UFC?
Get that milli first and then come back?
Go win a PFL tournament and get your $1 million.
I think he's just going to be able to ride off that Nurmagomedov name and try to get big fights if he got the victory here. Mm-hmm. Probably not. So he's lost twice this would have been his second loss by submission. He lost to Pavel Kush in PFL.
No wiki.
Via rear naked choke. I love your... And then Magomed Mustafayev. And that was actually a cut via... Yeah, a TKO via cut.
Dr. Stoppin.
Dr. Stoppin, but it was a cut. It was a pretty bad cut. It was like a spinning elbow, I think Magomed hit him with, and it just started pouring out immediately.
Well, if you lose to another Russian, I don't think it's a big deal.
And Mustafayev's not the worst. The guy's in the UFC too, right? Did you watch the Roman Kopylov and Carl Robinson fight?
I think I was like 1 round into it before I think... Was that when I started coming over here?
No. I think it was because it was right before the Khabib fight.
No, but then I did watch like the last 2 minutes or minute leading up to the finish because I did see that it finished. He subbed him.
Did you see the eye poke?
The eye poke, yeah. I saw his eye. I didn't see the eye poke. I saw the eye.
Right on the eyelid, dude.
Yeah, it looked nasty. When the doctors were coming in, I'm like, oh, they're going to stop it.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, it's like, okay, they're
especially once you saw the blood coming out of the eye, I'm like, oh. Ooh.
Yeah. And then he locked up that
good that it came out of the eyelid and not the actual eye itself. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was a little bit dumb for him to go out there and do that because... you get caught based off of an eye injury, then you're going to blame the eye injury and be like, yo, I only got knocked out because this guy poked me in the eyes. Mm-hmm. No, you decided to go out there after you got poked in the eye and you got knocked out. But luckily for him, he comes out there, he eats a couple shots from Kopylov first, and then he gets a sub, which was kind of surprising. One of my friends actually hit that prop at like plus 900 or plus 800. Yeah, Carl Robertson by sub. Wow. Insane. Coming from a glory kickboxer too.
How do you pick that?
Crazy. Even Zavada by submission was plus 900.
Holy shit. Yeah. Fuck, man.
Khabilov and Kandoshko, that was kind of the Khabilov fight.
At all.
It was a Khabilov fight.
Khabilov fight. Yeah, that's why I don't need to watch a Khabilov fight to know I win. All his fights are the same.
130-27 and then 229-28.
Yeah,
the first round was
clinching.
Him trying to get the takedown the entire first round, couldn't get it down.
Holding against the cage. Yeah.
Second round, it was a little bit more successful. Third round, he started mixing up those like takedowns in the middle of the cage, so he's actually able to get him down.
But not many strikes thrown, right? Because he doesn't do that. He
very rarely.
That's all he does.
Very rarely he threw some shots. And this was actually his first fight at 170, eh? He's gone up a division. Yeah.
After Gilbert Burns beat him? No. Diego Ferreira, that's it.
Yeah, Diego Ferreira put it on him.
And then Cajun Johnson should have beat him, but he got a bullshit decision.
If he thinks he's going to get some new life at 170, I think he's a little bit mistaken. Like, this is a decent win for him here, but he's supposed to go out there and beat this guy. Like, Kandoshko has shown in his past fight that he's very susceptible to takedowns and grappling. But in this fight, I'll give it to him. He actually showed some really good takedown defense, which is why the fight was as boring as it was in terms of Khabilov not being able to get the takedown, but was very persistent in trying to get it. Decent takedown defense, but it still comes down to Khabilov grinding him out. I had a little bit of a bet on that, so I was kind of happy that hit. Magomed Ankalaev versus Dalcha Lungyongbula. Oof.
Was this the front kick?
This was the front kick to the face, and then followed up with a couple of punches. Ridiculous.
Dude, that front kick, the sound that it made, and then in slow-mo, the way his head just jacked back, I was like, oh my God, that might be the most powerful sounding, at least front kick I've heard.
Yeah. The aesthetics of the Machida front kick, or the crane kick, and Anderson Silva.
The sound. The
sound of this one was crazy.
Was like
if you mix that sound with one of the Anderson Silva or Machida kick, that would have been knockout of
the Machida one's
life.
Probably,
yeah, right. But he landed it so clearly. I don't know how well you know Ankalaev, but that guy was 1 second away from being like a top 5 fighter right now. Like, who knows the other matchups he potentially could have gotten if he beat Paul Craig that night.
Yeah, that was a terrible.
But this guy's, I think he's 3-0 now, coming off that Paul Craig win. That was his only loss.
Yeah,
Paul Craig lost.
It was an embarrassing loss, though.
But he was whooping him. Like, that was an Anderson Silva Chael Sonnen type of thing.
There's less than 10 seconds left, and you're in a choke.
It was a hiccup more than anything in my opinion.
So why you're in a choke though? Why tap? Just risk going out, because then if you're not out at the bell, you win the fight, and if you're out, then you lose anyway. So why tap? It was just.
I think that was just an absolute brain fart on him. But like, taking that into consideration, the guy is a beast. Like, he is really good. He should be talked about among like Alexander Rakic and Dominic Reyes. He should be talked about in terms of like the up and coming 205ers. There's not that many. You know what I mean? Like, we just keep knocking them off. So I think that he should definitely be ranked up there. Johnny Walker now obviously getting his first L, or his first L in the UFC, I should say. So there's room for Magomed Ankalaev to kind of sneak into that spot and start finding these upper echelon guys. You know, I don't think he's going to get a guy like Anthony Smith. We already know that, you know, it seems like John Jones is calling out Dominic Reyes now.
They should probably do Smith and Anderson.
They'll do Smith, Anderson, and then Ankalaev will probably get... Maybe if Paul Craig pulls off the victory next weekend against Shogun Rua, maybe fight him, get that L back.
Get it again.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not? I'm not too mad at that if that's what happens. And Ankalaev, even if he fights Shogun next, if Shogun fucking pulls off the victory...
Why is Shogun...
Highly doubt Shogun would take this fight, to be honest.
How is he still fighting?
Yeah, but he's doing it, man. Who is he? He was supposed to fight Sam Alvey. And then Alvey pulled out, and what's his face took the fight.
Paul Craig. It's probably for his brain a better fight.
Could be. He's a favorite. I'm pretty sure he's the favorite coming into this fight.
Sub, but he's not going to get knocked out by Paul Craig.
I think that Shogun is the favorite coming into this fight, which is hilarious. What do we got?
I would actually believe that he would be the favorite for
minus 300, dude. Okay.
That's a bet on Paul Craig.
I am the biggest Shogun Rua fan out there.
That's a bet on Paul Craig. That's an easy bet on Paul Craig.
I'm one of the biggest Shogun Rua fans here. But
should he be a minus 300 over anybody in 2019 in the UFC?
Maybe I don't know, actually. I don't know who else would be in the light heavyweight division that we could get that type of line for Shogun Rua. That's a stupid line.
Because it's short notice. Is it in Brazil?
It is in Brazil.
Yeah, so it's literally Paul Craig doing a favor, so they're probably like, he's not even going to try and win. Maybe he's just going to go for like crazy takedowns and for sub attempts.
Shogun Rua doesn't have the greatest takedown defense either, though.
And he's older. He's older. He got them shit knees.
We know Paul Craig's going to be going for that takedown from like minute number 1.
He's got nothing to lose, so Paul Craig's probably going to fight stupid and wild
to try to close the distance.
To catch him.
He could either knock him out or, man, that line is ridiculous. I don't know how they're even doing that much. But I think the winner of that fight should probably fight Ankalaev next, but I highly doubt that we're going to see.
Walker already called out the winner of that fight, Shogun and Paul Craig.
Really? Yeah. Even after his loss to Anderson?
Yeah. That's what he said. He said
he wants
after
to get
his loss
quicker.
to Anderson that would probably be a good fight for him, the winner of Paul Craig and Shogun. I don't mind it. Unless it's Paul Craig, because Paul Craig's actually a middleweight just stepping in on short notice at a higher division, no?
No, he's always been light heavyweight. When did you think he was middleweight?
Oh, wait, yeah. I'm tripping out. Yeah, what am I saying? He fought Khalil, all these guys. Yeah, they're all light heavyweight. Okay, never mind. I don't know why for a second I thought he was a big dude.
He's pretty big, but
yeah.
Dog shit striking.
He's the bear Jew, yeah.
Yeah, but really good jiu-jitsu, so
But even his jiu-jitsu's not amazing. It's just good. Like, he got subbed by, I think, ACJ.
Yeah, but ACJ is a high-level fucking guy, right? Was it ACJ? I'm not sure if it was ACJ.
I'm pretty sure he got subbed by him.
But
I want to say it was him.
He has one of the more offensive guards, though, that we have in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Was it? Let's see here. Alonzo Menafield wrecked him, which is pretty obvious. It was Jimmy Crute that actually subbed him, who isn't the greatest jiu-jitsu guy, but I think that was a pretty slobber knocker of a fight, so I'll give him that. I love Ankalaev's assertion into this light heavyweight division among the other up-and-comers that we finally have. Unfortunate that we lost Johnny Walker, but we got pissed off Corey Anderson, so I'll take that one anyway. Shamil Gamzatov versus Klidson Abreu. We'll go over that in our deciding splits because that's obviously the only one that I really want to go over. We'll skip that. Tony Martin versus Ramazan Ameev. That was a really good performance by Rocco Martin. I was surprised. Well, not super surprised.
Worked the leg. That leg, you see
the
that?
leg kick is
See
insane, dude.
that ball on his third calf?
I'm that ATT game plan of attacking the calf is fucking flawless. Like, I'm surprised more guys aren't going for that. And it seems like a lot of the guys in that division or in that camp are kind of leaning on that as their staple for the game plan. You knock out that calf, you immobilize them as much as possible, and then the rest of your game will come to you. Especially against a guy like Ramazan Ameev, who's I'd say he's an efficient counter striker, and usually holds distance very well. But the fact that Rocco Martin was just like chop, just ease,
picked him apart
as often as he wanted to. It was crazy to see.
Good performance.
Did you know who his girlfriend is, or possibly ex-girlfriend is now?
Who?
Kayla Harrison.
Wait, Tony Martin?
Yeah.
Oh, he's with Kayla Harrison?
I was surprised about that because in one of his last fights, she was actually cornering him.
Anthony
and then they're talking about. I know. I was surprised too.
Wow.
There's a fun fact for you guys right there. I had no fucking idea until I was watching one of his fights, and I forget one of the commentators was like, "Oh yeah, one of his, his girlfriend is in his corner, Olympian fighter herself, Kayla Harrison." I'm like, "What the fuck, really?"
That's random as fuck.
Good for you, Rocco. But yeah. I think they broke up. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they broke up from an interview that I saw. Ed Herman going out there doing his fucking thing too.
I didn't watch this fight, but you told me that it was just a typical Ed Herman.
It was just
fight.
a sloppy fucking fight. He should have got 30-27s all around. This Khadis Ibragimov guy is horrible. Okay. This is the last time he's probably going to be fighting in the UFC. And even in his last fight, he gassed out like a round and a half in, and then eventually got finished in the third. Not a good look. The guy is not good. He was undefeated coming into the UFC, but has no fucking skills. He was just knocking guys out. That was it. But if you're not able to knock guys out,
that's always bad. When you come into the UFC with all like first round knockouts, it's going to be bad for you. Those guys never do well. You need to
go through some sort of hardship in your regional scene.
You got to have some decisions in there, man. Yeah.
I wouldn't say decisions per
se.
Longer fights, tougher competition. Really get tested out there before you come in here and then lose to an Ed Herman who made his UFC debut in like 2006. Fuck. He's 39.
Why is Ed Herman even fighting?
He's 39. He's getting out his fucking victory still. Insane. Zalim Emamadiev drops the ball against Danny Roberts. I didn't get to watch this fight in its entirety, but I did see the finish. There was 6 seconds left in that last round too.
I just saw the finish.
Yeah, insane.
That left kind of.
Danny Roberts was just quicker to the shot there. He was tighter with it too. Beautiful. I think it was a hook. It was just fucking insane. I was really thinking that Zalim's knocking guys out on the regional scene, comes to the UFC, possibly should have gotten a draw against Max Griffin in his last fight. He got a point taken off pretty much right at the beginning of the fight for holding the cage. One time, grabbed the cage, referee stopped the fight, 1 point, right away.
I don't mind that. I'm more of an advocate for that.
I get it. It takes it. It really deters anybody from even thinking about doing something like that. Yeah, they should do the same thing with eye pokes too. Even if you're flaring it, point.
Yeah.
Close your hand.
Then train with your hands closed. Then if you let them. If you start taking points, all of a sudden, guys won't have those habits suddenly. Oh, I wonder what happened. Like, just enforce it.
It's not. That's the only penalty I believe people will start to take it more seriously. As soon as you take that 1 point immediately, and the referees need to stay consistent with it because some referees are a little bit more lenient than the others.
Yeah,
right?
No, it should really be an automatic point. Like, it's not hard to just gauge distance like this instead of like this. Like,
it's got to be concerning for fighters as well too, not knowing who the referee is going to be going into a fight. You got to almost at a certain point study referees. You got to be like, okay, how often does this guy stand up fights? How quickly does he stand up fights? How often does he take points away? Shit like that.
There's nothing standardized. That's the problem with the commissions, right? They're just idiots running everything. Like,
that's the weird part. From state to state and province to province, shit is different. It's all just
stupidity. Yeah, it's all so dumb. Stupidity. None of it makes any sense. It's literally like children running a fucking
for a
thing.
Sport that's been able to generate this amount of money and this amount of fandom and this amount of just popularity.
It's a joke. Like, it doesn't even. I don't understand how nobody can just be like, do you see the state of this shit? Can we just do this? Like, can we get someone to actually take control and fucking fix this shit? Like, why are judges still fighting? Just put a bunch of judges in a room in the back. Why are we?
They don't even need to be at the venue.
They don't even need to be at the fucking venue. Exactly. Just give them no commentary. You have to listen in silence to the fight. Score the fight. Why are we doing 3 judges? Let's get 7 judges.
I think 5 is the right number.
5, you can
give me an odd number higher than 3.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If they don't even have to be at the event, you can just do 11. Like, they're just submitting it remotely. Their scores.
That's the best way to do it.
And then you won't have such controversy all the time. It's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, the average person at home can score a fight better than these so-called professional judges. What the fuck is going on here?
I don't think it's so much a lot of the prerequisites that are required for these guys to become judges are like, okay, you must have had at least one amateur fight in the past. Amateur kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, or boxing, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, but they don't
it doesn't need to be MMA, right?
Yeah,
and they don't know all of it.
Yeah, so that's why you get, maybe a judge who knows boxing, but what the fuck do they know about jiu-jitsu?
They don't know shit.
They don't know anything about that. So.
I don't know if we're ever going to see it really be answered or a solution come to it.
Seems to
it's
be
not going to happen.
Close to doing anything about it. And even if things get better, it's
only one place.
It's a tiniest little baby step every 4 or 5 years. Like, nothing is happening. Everybody just kind of complains, and then the complaints die down after a week or two, and we just
until
move
it
on.
happens again.
And then it flares up, and no one does anything about anything. It just doesn't make any sense.
The funny part though is if it does get changed in one state, it's not going to get carried over to every other state.
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous.
And also, it kind of makes things a little bit more confusing because how many times have we been in a situation where a guy, we don't know if he's a down opponent or not?
Yeah.
And even the fighter inside the cage is probably like, should I throw this knee or should I not?
During the fight, the guy's like in a position where his hand's close to the ground or not. And then you're like, oh, wait, which state are we fighting in again? Is that allowed or not in this fight? Like, what the fuck?
To even have to question that. And then even in training as well. Like, what are you training? Are you going to train whether this guy's going to be a down opponent or not, and
I have to change my training fight to fight and change?
And that's
habits?
that's a very vulnerable position as well. That the guy in the offensive position could really take advantage of and possibly get a finish. You're talking about a guy's knee in line with the guy's head, and you can generate so much more power, right? They need to really figure that shit out.
If you're watching a hockey game and depending on the city they're in, different slashing
offsides
is not a penalty.
Are on.
Yeah, there's no offsides this game.
2-line passes.
Because we're playing in Carolina. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. What is going on?
No.
Doesn't make any sense.
You need to have some uniform.
Even the whole thing of certain cities when they're at a smaller fight night, how they use a smaller octagon. What?
That's weird. That is weird.
Like, can you imagine if they just shrunk the basketball court for certain games, and then now we're on a bigger court? Yeah. Here's the 3-point. Like, what are we doing here? You can't change things like that.
That's even almost every. Like if you look from organization to organization, you're talking about the circular cage in Bellator, the ring and other
size. The size should be standard. Like if you're fighting, regardless,
because that's even different
across the organization itself. Within that, it should be the same.
Yeah,
can't have a smaller octagon versus a bigger one.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Bellator does that. I think
it's the same size.
It's the same the entire time.
Make sure it's the same size. They should never be using different sizes.
Was it the Pentagon that
someone tried that
Strikeforce was using? What was Strikeforce using?
No, Hexagon.
Six. It would be nice to get that one back. I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know why. All right, let's just get on to the last 2 fights. Alexander Volkov versus Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy doesn't really go out there and really chase it, in my opinion, but it's easy for me to say that fucking sitting in an armchair here.
Yeah, I don't.
And Alexander Volkov is just teeing off with his leg kicks at will. We almost were giggling at each other with the amount of time Volkov was able to land that leg kick. Like within 15 seconds, he landed 6 or 7 leg kicks, and Greg Hardy couldn't do shit about it. Apparently, he injured his hand in one of the rounds or something, so maybe that attributed to it. But I felt like we would have seen a little bit of a Greg Hardy that was going to crash forward a little bit more. Volkov did a great job of keeping him away. Probably learned from that Derek Lewis fight by not fucking around in the last 15 seconds as well. Volkov is a high-level guy. You could clearly see the day and night comparison in terms of the skill and experience on Volkov's side, and then Greg Hardy's inexperience and lack of even skill, I would say. Like, he's getting away beating guys like Ben Sassoli, Juan Adams, and Dmitry Smolyakov, but once you start reaching the top 10-ish, let's honestly see if there's a top 10 guy we think that he could beat, because I don't know if we're going to be able to get that. Obviously not Cormier, probably not Ngannou, definitely not Curtis Blades, because Curtis Blades is going to be taking him for a ride. Maybe he could land on Junior Dos Santos, but I think that Dos Santos could go out and have a Ben Rothwell type of game plan.
Probably, yeah.
Right? Derek Lewis, I think he would... That's a closer fight strictly because Derek Lewis isn't the most technical guy out there. He gets hit. he's always down in most of his fights and always just comes back right at the ending. So it's going to come down to who gets their blitz in first. Overeem, he could possibly knock him out, but Overeem does a good job with his kicks too. He could possibly keep Greg Hardy on the outside. I think we might get a good line on that if that fight ever happens. I'm just saying. I think a lot of people would eat up the whole Greg Hardy.
It's probably too premature to even talk about him fighting any of these guys, though. He got outclassed early by Volkov. It wasn't
Shamil
that close.
Abdurakhimov would absolutely ragdoll him too. Walt Harris would probably beat him as well. Blagoy Ivanov would beat him. Like, I don't know if there's anybody in the top 15 that I would bet Greg Hardy over. Like,
he didn't look that great. He didn't he didn't look terrible, but he didn't really try at all. Like, it just seemed like he was content to lose a decision because he was doing a favor, and it was cool.
I'll give him this. He didn't look like super gassed.
He wasn't terrible. Like, his
cardio held up, it seemed like. But that could also be attributed to the fact that his output wasn't the craziest either.
Yeah.
And his toughness was crazy too, because Volkov landed a lot of good shots. He landed a lot of good body kicks. You know, it folded Derek Lewis a couple times, and Greg Hardy was able to just eat them and keep moving forward. You were saying that you were surprised that Greg Hardy is 6'5". Like,
yeah, I didn't realize he was so big.
He's massive, and just his, like, I don't know what to call it. Like, mass is probably the right word, because he's still bigger than Volkov, right? Like, not taller, but he's bigger than Volkov. Yeah. I just don't know what the proper wording is for that. I think I called it on one of my podcasts, like square footage. If you want to talk about body mass, body footage, whatever bigger, the fuck it is. I don't know what type of future we're going to get from Greg Hardy, but at least he gets this, like, okay, this is what the level of competition is actually supposed to be. And maybe he could take that into fights moving forward. Zabit Magomedsharipov versus Calvin Kattar kind of went how most people thought it could have gone, which is Zabit taking the first 2 rounds. Then, you know, at a certain point in that third round, stop putting the foot on the gas and letting the other guy take over. Calvin Kattar started to take over about halfway through that round. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough time for him to really find the knockout and obviously not get a 10-8 round to even get a potential draw here. What are your thoughts on Zabit? Do you think where does he go from here? What could you line up next for him? And do you think he could even achieve a title in his career?
It was like a typical Zabit fight, you know, high output, gas after 2 rounds, survive the third, win a decision. That seems to be rinse and repeat with him. No hope in him in a title fight until we see him at least win some sort of 5-round fight. I don't think he should get a title fight next. I think he should maybe get a number 1 contender fight in a main event, force him to go 5 rounds, see if he can actually hang in there. If this fight was 5 rounds, Calvin Kattar was probably going to win that fight.
It's like the Jeremy Stevens, Jair Rodriguez
exactly.
Fight, right?
Like, it just seems like I don't know if this guy can even go 5 rounds. He looks good for 2, but he gets tired way too easily. Like, that cardio is not high level.
Was there anything in here that you were really impressed by? Like, something that you're like, okay, he's really good at this?
Not really, because we've seen it before. It just seemed like a typical.
It seems like his
performance, and nothing new that we haven't seen before.
I think his unorthodox fighting style, coupled with his output and pace, is kind of what really gets him the victories in these fights.
Yeah,
because then guys are a little bit scared to throw because they're like, I don't know what's coming back. It's output, and then coming from weird angles.
Is quick, yeah. So if in a 5-round fight, I don't think he can keep that up, and his striking is solid, and he's got all these unorthodox ways of, you know, even transitioning into that beautiful trip or takedowns.
Oh, that was nice.
They're gorgeous, but it's his striking isn't the best. It doesn't even seem like his grappling is really solid, but it might not be the best again. Like, nothing's really the best.
Yeah.
But
he's just very unorthodox.
It's just like he keeps throwing, and it's very unorthodox. Yeah, he's willing.
I think that would throw off a lot of guys that need that time to set up. Yeah. Like, I would be interested to see how a fight with him and Volkanovski would go. Just based off of, you know, if he continues to land on the outside on Volkanovski, is Volkanovski going to want to close the distance, land big shots, grind up against Zabit? Zabit's wrestling is great.
Just give him a main event title contender fight against the winner of Zombie and Ortega. Just do that.
Will we have anybody ready to go to fight the winner of Volkanovski and Holloway, though? Because those guys are fighting like a month,
so less than a month. In that case, then Ortega Zombie might just get the next title shot, and Zabit will have to get somebody else.
Let's see if we can pinpoint.
If Zabit doesn't mind fighting down, put him in there with the Yair. I don't mind that.
Ooh, God damn, Tony, that's a great fucking fight. Now that
right?
Speaking of how, like, you know,
they kind of have similar ways of fighting too, where they have high output and throwing for 2 rounds and then loses the third.
Who wins that third round?
Yeah.
Based
on what I've seen,
Zabit's 5, Yair's 6.
Oh, there you go.
Why not?
As long as he doesn't mind fighting.
He's not fighting Frankie.
Who's number one?
Volkanovski,
Number one is Volkanovski. Number
Ortega,
two is Ortega. Number
Aldo.
three, Aldo's
Edgar.
gone. Edgar. Yeah,
They're not going to fight their teammates.
Yeah, so Zabit's not going to fight Edgar. Aldo's gone.
Yair, Korean Zombie, 7.
He's got to fight down.
Yeah.
Unless he gets the next title fight, like immediately. He's got to fight down. I think Ortega Zombie winner should get the next title fight. Or you know what? If Ortega wins it, they might just give it to Zabit. Just to get a fresh contender in there and not go to the Holloway.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I think Yair Rodriguez is the best person to match him up against in a 5-round fight as well. To get that out of I think he would be doing a disservice to himself if he just goes into a title shot here.
Who's a beat? 100%. You haven't had a 5-round fight.
Get that experience, dude.
And you keep gassing in your 3-round fights. You can't do that.
Let's see if he's ever gone.
But he might actually get thrown into a title fight if Ortega wins. I think if Zombie wins, Zombie will probably 100% is getting the title shot.
Let's see if Zabit. What's the longest Zabit's actually ever gone? Has he ever gone 5 rounds? He must have been in a championship fight somewhere.
Lower competition though.
Round 1, round 1, round 1, round 2, round 2, round 2, round 2, round 2, round 3, round 2, round 2, round. Yeah, never gone round.
Never been past 3 rounds, and he gasses in the third. He only has 2 good rounds, it seems, in him.
What was his only loss?
Some sort
submission
of
armbar. Igor Igorov, like the most Russian name you could fucking think of there.
That's early on though in his career, so I think he was 6-1 there, 6-0, and then he lost.
4-0 and
4-0, then he lost, and now he's 10-0?
17. I think he's 18-1 now. So
he's 18-1. There's 14.
After the victory today, he's 18-1.
Are you sure? Check that. I think he's 14-1. I want to say he's 14-1.
I just had it open. There we go. Yeah, 18-1.
Jesus Christ! All right.
When did he make his debut? Like his May 2012.
Okay.
So in 7 years. Not too bad.
It's a good record.
He has a loss on his amateur record, it looks like, too. Rahman Maksev. Okay, not even going to try to say that.
Those are, when they're that young, it's like, who cares about that loss?
Let's spin this shit forward. Jan Blachowicz and Jacare Souza next week. It's the last fight in like their 11-event consecutive weekend streak.
And then there's 1
Feel
weekend off?
burnt out. 2 weeks off.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
I don't mind that.
So it's a 3-week gap between fights. Okay.
Jacare, you think he's going to have success going up to 205?
Oh, what are the odds on that fight?
Minus 220 Blachowicz.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly where I thought it would be. I'm
going to pass on that fight, but
I don't have any hope for Jacare.
No.
He's just too old and stiff now. He gets hit too easily. He's not fast enough.
He doesn't have the greatest striking, but he has a little bit of power. I'll give him that.
That's all he has, though, and he can walk forward through shots. He's not even that good at taking people down anymore.
No. Blachowicz is decent, and his jiu-jitsu is really good as well.
If you get on top of him, he's not even that great about getting up. Like Jacare, you would think would be able to sweep you or something easily. He doesn't seem to be able to do that easily. He's older, slower, like I said, and 39 or 38 years old, moving up to light heavyweight. In your first fight, you're getting a killer like Jan. Let's see. You saw
he's
that
already pushed away another guy that came up from 185.
Saw how that went with Luke. This is a terrible, terrible matchup for Jacare. I think Jan finishes him.
You know what's crazy? Jacare, Chris Weidman, and Luke Rockhold all went up to 205 this year. 2 of them have gotten Merck so far. So if the trend continues,
that's going to happen.
And these guys were like top flight 185ers.
Jacare's too old. He's so old,
right?
Too.
I feel like he has fought at 205 in the past, though. Maybe. Pretty certain.
I don't think so.
Not in the UFC.
I don't think so.
I feel like he's done it before.
I've never in dream any of his.
I feel like in Strikeforce.
Maybe you're right. No, Strikeforce. I swear it was always 185, man.
Let me confirm that before let me fact check myself real quick.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard of.
I feel like he's been at 205 in the past. Dream vacant middleweight. Oh shit, you are right.
He's always been a middleweight.
Okay, I don't know. Oh, catchweight at 194 against Ed Herman. I'm not sure who missed her. Maybe Ed Herman did.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, goddamn, you're right.
Oh yeah, I think Ed Herman was filling in on short notice in that fight.
Oh yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough fight for him. He has the home field advantage, even though he trains in Florida. I think Blachowicz could turn him back.
Man, I think Blachowicz is better than Hermanson. As an overall, I actually think he's better. So this is like a harder matchup than his last fight.
Yeah, it's tough to say just based off of the fact that Hermansson's coming off of such a devastating finish to
Just
Jared
overall
Cannonier.
in their performances, I feel like the current version of Yan is better than Hermansson.
There's no other real big fights. We got Bobby Green against Francisco Trinaldo. Decent
Is that the
fights.
co-main?
I don't think that's co-main. I believe the co-main is Shogun against Paul Craig.
Okay, not bad. Not terrible.
Bobby Green, Francisco Trinaldo, not bad. Barao making his return once again against Douglas DeAndrade. Diago De Santos or some shit. Yeah, Douglas DeAndrade. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Very fun fighter to watch.
Silva Andrade.
He looks like he's 40-something years old. The guy's only like 34.
He's really ripped, right? Yeah.
He lost to Jan in his last fight.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be really tough for Barao to get over, which is why Douglas is like minus 220.
Has anybody fallen worse than Renan Barao? That might be the worst.
4 straight losses.
Yo, but I mean, like, you were pound for pound, and now you can't even beat a top 20.
No.
Like, Luke Sanders just knocked him out. What the fuck is going on?
I think he had success in that first round against Sanders.
Yeah, but he always has. That's Barao.
That's his thing.
In all of his recent fights, looks like a killer in the first round, and then just just starts being slow and plodding and not moving or throwing much in the second and third, and then gets finished or something. Like, it's so fucking weird. He's mentally done.
It's. I don't understand how he's going to be able to beat a guy like Douglas Andrade, who comes forward as much as he does, has decent cardio.
Barao's done, man.
You know, as long as he can survive that first round, this is Douglas's fight easy.
That's every fight. If you're out of the first round with Barao, you're gonna win the fight.
It's surprising to me that the UFC is even holding on to Barao.
I think it's just
you got to think that this is the pink slip fight for him.
Something's going on in that guy's life or something too. Like the amount of damage he suffered now, it's just such a bad turnaround for his career. Just a huge fall. It's a sad story in all honesty.
Very, very sad.
Yeah.
Barao or fucking Dillashaw took his fucking soul.
Yeah, seriously.
Dude, Charles Oliveira against Jared Gordon. Why does Charles Oliveira continue to fight these unranked
Just keep dicking him around. Just keep dicking Charles Oliveira around. It'll just take.
I think it's Oliveira though.
No, man.
I think it's on. Dude,
he said after his last fight, he's like, all right, I fought another guy that was like not that high ranked, Nick Lentz, right? He's like, all right, I took this fight. Now stop fucking around with me, UFC, and give me a good fight. And then he gets Jared Gordon. What the fuck is going on? He's on a 5 or 4 fight winning streak. All finishes.
4, 5.
All finishes.
All finishes. All subs.
And this is who you give him? What is happening here? This not even a top 15. The guy isn't even ranked.
The David Tamor fight was a good timed fight for him. I would say
that was fine,
but then you should like elevate.
You
after
got to
that.
elevate. Then he goes down to Nick Lentz, and now he goes sideways to Jared Gordon. Yeah. What the hell is going on? This guy, Charles Oliveira, should be getting minimum. He should be getting a top 10. He's number 13. When you're number 13 on a 5-fight streak, you should be fighting up.
Dude, he's had 4 straight performances of the night.
Yeah.
Except his Nick Lentz fight.
Yeah. Maybe they just want him to run away with the submission record. That's why they're giving him these fights. He's already got the submission records.
Right? He extended his record. For
he's like 1 13. Or 2. Yeah, he's probably going to add to it with this.
Let's see. He broke the record with 11, so now he's at 13.
13. He's probably going to get number 14 here, and then eventually, please get this guy a fight.
Top 15.
No, 6 to 10.
6 to 10.
He's already 13.
Is he 13? What?
Lightweight.
Lightweight.
Yeah, he's 13, right? So he's already 13. If you're going to be on a 6-fight win streak, and at 13, you got to be fighting at least 6 to 10 next.
I don't know who he could fight. 6 to 10.
Give him
Paul Felder, who he lost to.
Give him Kevin Lee.
I want to see Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee seems to want to fight Makhachev, which is weird because Makhachev's way below him.
15, but everybody knows that's a really tough fight.
Yeah.
Let him get that confidence back at 155.
Makhachev, man.
Yo, let's just see,
Kevin Lee beats him.
Let's just see. After he beats him, then you can say some shit.
Yeah,
but until then, keep your mouth shut.
Just like how Gillespie beat him, right?
Fuck you. I knew you were going to go there. Fuck you. No, big one. It should be a big one for Charles Oliveira this weekend against Jared Gordon. Gordon has a decent style of like having that unrelenting pace.
He's on a 1-fight streak. He lost his 2 fights ago. He lost.
Got murked.
Why is he fighting Charles Oliveira? Dude, Bronx, man.
Yeah, he's going to go to work there. So I don't know if you heard about this, but Conor is not the father. Okay. Did you miss this in the news?
Yeah, what the fuck?
He had to have his DNA test because there's that girl out there who who said that she had a baby with him and he kept
I remember
neglecting
hearing
it.
about this long time
This was like a
ago.
year ago or maybe even 2 years ago. So they finally did a DNA test and the results came back that Connor's not the father. They should have done this shit on Maury, dude. Come on. That's a Maury moment
Missed
right there.
opportunity right there. That's
Connor would have
promotion.
been all over that.
Promotion. Now, did you see what Connor tweeted after Abu
Oh,
Khan
yeah.
got tapped? Okay.
Talk about ironic.
That's what I mean. Hey, look, it's cool and all to be talking shit, but you just called out a guy for tapping out and quitting.
Don't give me that.
How many losses does Connor have on his record? 3 or 4?
And 2 of them were by
No.
If I'm not mistaken. 3 of them. All of them?
All 4 of his losses.
Duffy, Diaz.
He got Artemis something, whatever, in his third fight,
okay.
leg locked him. Duffy just arm triangled him from standing position, whipped him to the ground and finished him. Diaz tapped out. He didn't go out. He tapped. He didn't go out. He tapped
the way
out.
you say that with that smile is so mischievous, dude. Jeez.
I'm just saying, why didn't you go out? You know what I mean?
And then the last person to tap him.
And then you got neck cranked. He didn't even have a choke on you.
Choke his neck crank.
It was just, I'm going to say uncle because it hurts my jaw too much. I'm going to tap.
I'm cool with
and
him talking
I'm a big
shit.
Connor fan. I was a huge Connor fan until like he started going off the rails in the last couple of years.
I'm not a Connor
or whatever.
fan anymore.
Not
I'm
anymore. It's
officially off the
hard.
train.
It's hard to support him because it's just all talk. Nothing's happening. Why the fuck is this fight not announced? If you're fighting in January 18th, we're 2 months out.
Yeah, less
get
than
this
2 months
announced.
away.
Let's go. What is going on?
Yeah.
Or else just shut up and go away. Like it's like
We already know the
cares?
UFC is going out of their way to plan a pay-per-view that was not
just
planned.
around him. Yeah, just around him. He'll just be main eventing just cause against Cerrone probably.
Like, I don't mind him gloating like to the downfall of a guy that he has obvious beef with, but to gloat on the specific fact that he tapped and he called him Nurmagomedov tap.
Yeah, that was like,
That's a little bit over the top.
man. I used to think like, and I think he is like this is a smart, calculated guy. What the fuck is going on here? Like he's just really. You think so? A lot of coke and
so.
booze.
Coke, booze, and bitches.
That erratic behavior does seem very
CBB.
cokey. Yeah.
You got to stay away from that CBB, otherwise you're going to get
Just
booked.
too much. Like, what are you doing, man? You can't call out someone
And he thinks
for
he's going to win
tapping.
everybody over by coming back and fighting 3 times next
I don't
year.
even think he's trying to win anybody over. I think he's just trying to keep his name in the spotlight.
That's that, but I also think he wants to go back to being that person that people love and shit.
I don't think it's gonna happen 3 times. They can't get a deal done with him
For the first one.
in like when did he last fight? And how many times have we heard about him coming back since then? They can't get one fucking fight book with this guy.
It's not a good look.
I don't think the UFC cares to play ball in a way that he expects them to with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There might be that a lot. Like we're like, you know what? We're cool. Like we're not going to give into your insane demands, like and overpay you more than we can pay because like we have stars now. We can still make big fights and stuff. ESPN pay-per-view deal. They don't care. They're getting their flat feet. They don't care as much. So I think it's just there's probably just a lot of a standstill on both ends where Connor's like, I want this. We're not willing to give you this.
I feel like most of the pressure though would be coming from ESPN. Like I feel like they would want the pay-per-view buys of a Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see like what did a Masvidal Diaz do? Is it close? Is
We're
it in the
never
ballpark?
gonna get those numbers though.
Yeah,
that's the unfortunate
problem.
part, dude.
That's the problem.
Like I think,
Can you like imagine that was a fucking huge fight? Imagine that did numbers that was like Conor level. Then you don't need him anymore.
But
You got some big stars.
is this going to translate with Masvidal though? Masvidal without Diaz, because think about the trickle down effect we're getting here. We're getting Conor McGregor, and then Nate Diaz is getting the Conor rub, and now Masvidal is getting the Nate rub from Conor.
That is the difference. You're right in that sense.
There's
that
a trickle down.
Conor draws no matter who he fights.
Exactly.
Whereas a Masvidal or Diaz, they only draw big depending on who they fight. Like they can bring their side, but they need someone else to finish it off. Whereas, with Conor, it's like doesn't matter who he fights, it's going to be a big deal. So
I think if Masvidal went out there and like Ben Askren, Nate Diaz, he could possibly be good no matter what, because it was that Ben Askren knockout that really got him as famous as he is, and also like
Man, I think this was big still too though, because he beat the fucking shit.
But there was no
whooped his
highlight
ass.
moment. There was no highlight moment.
He whooped his ass. That was probably rounds 1 and 2 can both be argued as a 10-8.
I'm talking like from a casual's perspective. Like
but even that, because
just to Joe off the street, be like, "Yo, look at this knockout of Ben Askren," and then if you show him a 2-minute clip of him battering Nate Diaz, it's not the same as.
But then those guys are watching this tough guy Nate Diaz. It's like, who the fuck is this Masvidal guy? He's beating the shit out of him. Cleaner technique, boxing, everything, not giving into the overwhelming style or anything. He seemed to be doing the overwhelming, if anything.
The message that I'm trying to get to is just that I don't think that there was that moment, like in the Darren Till fight, we had that crazy knockout. Aesthetically, it looked insane. Yeah, because that the knee, fucking insane, fastest knockout on UFC
anticlimactic
history.
cut.
But there's no, the anticlimactic cut. There was no like signature moment for him.
That's a good point.
That's the only thing.
Signature highlight. I guess you're saying, because like it's, you have to like kind of watch the whole fight consistently. There's not that one.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I still see it. I still see the Ben Askren fucking fight or that knockout on my timeline whenever I'm scrolling through Twitter. Like you need that like 15-second moment where you're like, okay, you pull off a Showtime kick. Like that wasn't a knockout, but that was a significant moment where a lot of people know Anthony
got
Pettis
him on the Wheaties box and title
Exactly. So with Masvidal, it's really going to come down to how much he draws and how much excitement there is in his next fight. It's going to be a pay-per-view. It must be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, Masvidal's at that point. Masvidal, when
I think it's
100% he's getting a title shot.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think the Nate Diaz stuff has subsided a bit.
It's definitely subsided.
My feelings from last week have definitely subsided regarding that.
Any thoughts on Diaz's tweet? I just kind of went, I don't care. He's just talking shit. Like if he's just, I think it's just a negotiation tactic too. To like, it's just him thinking like, there's going to be too much fuckery. I'm out. But in all honesty, if they come to him with a good deal, he'll take it. Like that's what I think.
He had that interview with Ariel Helwani in Madison Square Garden. I'm not sure if you heard about that, but Helwani was saying, how much longer would you want to do this? So he goes, I'm never going to retire. Yeah. He said it himself. He goes, I am always going to fight. I'm never retiring. He goes, even if you're like 45, 50, he's like, no, like if I get a good fight, I'll fucking take it. If the money's worth it, I'll take it.
But yeah, he's also said he seems like he's willing to wait another 3 years if he has to for a fight. So I don't know about that.
How old is he? Do you know how old Nate Diaz is?
34.
Guaranteed?
I'm pretty sure I saw that recently, yeah.
I'll trust your memory.
I'm pretty good with numbers. Memory.
Yeah.
With numbers, I have good memories. It's interesting.
34. Fuck you. April 16th.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck you.
Yeah. I remember seeing, I think the tail of the tape, fight? I think I remember seeing like 34 versus 32 or something like that. So it just stuck out in my head for some reason. But yeah, I'm glad that talk has subsided. I think Masvidal's even like, it'll happen, but might not even be next. I'm like, thank God. Like, there's no need for a rematch. You beat the shit out of him 3 rounds. Anticlimactic finish. Nate was about to get started. No. Masvidal didn't even look tired. Like, even if Nate was going to win the last 2 rounds, I don't think he was going to finish
was addressing that too. He goes, you guys think I would have gassed in that 4th and 5th round? Really?
He didn't look like he was tired. I was
showing no signs of it.
In the third, he only won 10-9 instead of 10-8. He was slowing down. No, man, he still won the round, and he didn't look gassed at the end. So even if he was about to gas, he probably still had at least one more solid round in him. That's 4 rounds there. Yeah. I don't see how Nate was going to win that. In terms of skill for skill, it looked like Masvidal was just a cleaner fighter. Like that's all there is to it. He just looked better. He's coming off one of the best years ever for a fighter. It's incredible in terms of being unknown in March to like one of the top stars in the company. Not even
fighting in 2018.
Yeah, no, and coming off 2 losses. You're coming into March to be fed to Darren Till so that he can get a good rub off of you and get back on the winning track after losing to Woodley in a title fight. But now, by the end of the year, you are one of like the top 5 stars in the company. It's crazy. So 100%, you got to give that guy the title fight, especially if Colby wins. I mean, Masvidal's probably like, please, Colby, win this fight. Like, please win this fight so that I can get a way bigger payday against you than Usman.
I agree with that. And I think the Conor schedule of fighting Cowboy in January, winner of the BMF title in July, or whatever the fuck he's talking about. It's not going to happen because we need time, obviously, to pass for the Colby and Usman fight, which is happening December 14th. So Usman or Colby against Masvidal is probably not going to happen until at least April, May.
Conor needs to not talk about fighting welterweights, okay? You fight lightweights, that's it, okay?
He should honestly fight Cowboy in January if he gets the victory there.
Okay.
Fight Gaethje in the summer.
I don't know if Gaethje's willing to wait.
I don't see why not. Because we still got to get Khabib and Ferguson, which will probably go down in
March or April. So did you hear what was happening there?
What do you mean? Oh, the Vegas thing?
I love Khabib. To apologize? I love Khabib. Khabib's the best.
You know they're going to apologize.
He's gangster,
You know they're going to apologize.
Because he's a fucking gangster.
Remember the Conor thing? Even with Conor.
Khabib's one of those guys, he won't forget, eh? Like after a few months, you think like, if we offer him enough money, he'll get it done. He's like, no. Make him apologize. It's like he does
Apologize.
not. Yeah, or I smashed them. Like he's just he doesn't give a fuck. It's
Smash them by not going to fight for them and not allowing them.
He's
to make
all
that much
about
money.
like morals and like what he believes in over anything, over money or anything. Like he believes.
There are some asterisks there though, like the post fight spaz out and the Conor fight. I get the emotions and like lashing out and jumping over the cage, doing all that shit, but the whole I don't even want to get into like the Kadyrov thing that's going on, the Chechnya leader. Like, I don't even want to get into that.
I don't like any of that either. That's a little ridiculous.
That's too much.
I don't know. See, for those, it's like you want to be like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? But at the same time, I don't know if there's like shit behind the scenes where it's like, yo, overall, like I understand this guy's a terrible person, but it will help in the long run in terms of like a drawing. Like, why don't you just gain a bigger audience? You know what I mean? At the same time, and then you can, the more people that I guess believe in you, then you can spread your own word out. You know what I mean? Like, there's almost like some sort of good that can come out of it, and it's like, just use them to take an advantage. I don't know. I don't know if there's that level of thinking going on, but I think it is like I wouldn't do it.
I think he's understood the fact that this guy is a very controversial figure, and I may give him the respect and be seen without him out in public, but like even during like fights, I forgot which fight they had, another Russian fight or something, where Kadyrov was cage side. But like they never showed him really on camera or anything like that.
That guy's fucked up.
Let's just leave this guy out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I am so looking forward to this 2 weeks off. Just with all the shit that I got going on with like studying consistently and trying to put out content and I just feel a little bit of a burnout almost. You know?
That's gonna happen.
It's a lot. Like,
that's gonna.
Don't get me wrong. I love fighting, and I think there's a Bellator card squeezed in there as well because they usually like to take advantage of those UFC off weeks, right? Did you see King Mo's knock? I sent it to you.
Yeah, I saw the knockout. It's sad. I like Mo too. And
the funny thing is, he came out of retirement for this fight.
He's just old and his chin is gone. He's been knocked out in his last 4 fights.
And it didn't even seem like the craziest shot either. It was more so like an off-balance shot that came in and just
his chin is just completely gone. You could tell. He's just old. That's all it is. He was good.
I wonder how much he got paid for that though.
Yeah, poor guy. You wanted to see him go out on top. It's kind of sad, but King Mo is still like, I love King Mo. He was great back in the day in his prime in Strikeforce and stuff. He was tearing it up.
Dominant champion-ish.
Doing good, yeah. So I don't know.
I think his dream walkouts where he had all of his bitches.
He had a good career.
Shit.
He overall had a good career though.
Fuck.
It's too bad he didn't get a chance at the UFC. I really wanted to see him in the UFC, but
yeah. Well, I think him and Dana had some sort of like falling out because once they acquired Strikeforce,
he didn't make a deal. Yeah. He just went to Bellator immediately and then fought it out in over there and in Japan.
Anything else from this week? That
a little bit of a slower week. Yeah,
there wasn't much going on. We had the Conor news come out. Yeah, I'm just actually the promos for 245. I don't know if you've been seeing them, but they're actually pretty fire. I'll give them that. I
just saw some highlight package of where they kind of showed highlights from the press conference, and it was kind of not good.
Colby was just running shit,
and then Kamaru at the stare down with his shirt off. He just took his shirt off for some reason.
Maybe that's his like defense mechanism where he's like actually scared, but let me just show off my muscles.
What are you like posturing like this?
I think Colby's really getting to him though. Really getting to him. I
think so. I think he's trying his best to just tune him out and focus on killing him.
But he can't.
But I feel like in the moment when the fight starts, I don't know if he's going to be able to exercise that level of control. That's an interesting fight. I really thought Kamaru would easily win it first, and now I'm on the fence about it. I think Colby's got a good shot.
I'll either bet Colby or just pass on the fight. It's around plus 145 now.
I'm in that same boat.
Pass on it now.
Based on where the odds are and how close it feels, like Colby should be the bet or else nothing.
Yeah.
Although I feel like a good bet would be that fight goes to a decision. I don't see any other. Like, do you really see either of them finishing each other?
Odds no.
I would bet on that fight going to a decision.
Minus 265 going to a decision.
Yeah, that's not worth the bet then.
No. Yeah, I don't think. But I don't know how much do you think emotions plays into this? And does Kamaru Usman let his emotions get over him, gas out a little bit? Colby Covington pours it on in the last round.
I just think either guy are hard to finish, and they're not great finishers. Their styles. I don't think that's going to change that much to the point where there's going to be, they're going to fight with that much more visceral and get a finish.
Yeah. There was a set of odds that came out recently that I wanted to do a little quiz on you with that I did last week as well.
Oh, okay.
Masvidal Diaz rematch. How would you land that?
Oh man, dude. Based on how the first fight went, minus 300 Masvidal.
Damn.
Plus 230 Nate.
Plus 250 Nate, but minus 300 Masvidal.
All right,
that's actually not that bad.
Yeah. Yes.
Bravo, Tony. We got some bookmaker.
That's where it should be, man.
Here.
Based on how that first fight went. Good God.
Well, fuck. I think that's pretty much it for this week. I think we hit all the nails here. Yeah. I like having the card like fresh on my mind too, even though some of them we skimmed over. But we're going to be doing deciding splits more than likely on Klidson Abreu versus Shamil Gamzatov. That'll be out for you guys. You probably have already seen that before we dropped this episode. And then we'll be back next week for another episode of Combatosseurs, going over UFC Sao Paulo, and then looking forward to the next 2 weeks where we'll figure out what the fuck we're going to talk about and do. Check out the website, mmalotn.ca. Follow me at MMALOTN on Twitter. Follow him at Chunes on Twitter, CHEWNS, because that's the most poppin' Twitter channel or feed that you'll find. I promise you that. And yeah, thanks for supporting the boy, and we'll see you guys next week.